Hi guys, Brad here. Just got a quick developer update for you on the e-commerce refactoring that's going on at the moment. So I've just got a simple store here set up. I'm going to show you a few features and what's happening. Now, bear in mind this is completely unbranded and unstyled and all the rest of that. So look, the first thing I want to show you, and the major change, is actually nothing to do with the front end. It's the architecture of the app. And what we're doing here is we're changing from what we call our Model 1 app structure to Model 2. Model 1 was where all of the controller logic was in Java, and so agency developers could edit the front end, the templates, server-side templates, and the JavaScript and XML and stuff like that, but they could not change the controllers. So what we're trying to do is give you guys more control by moving the controller logic into these repository applications, server-side JavaScript. There are still services in the Academy platform that those controllers use, but by seeing the controllers, you can change it and customize it and debug it a lot more effectively. So what I just want to do is really quickly touch on that. So this all starts with app.js. So this is, by the way, the KCommerce 2 application repository. So this is what you would see in your account if you install the KCommerce app. Okay, you see this repository, you see these files. Now you can edit them, although in reality you don't want to edit them. You would be better off copying them and then creating your own app or overriding files. Okay, so at the top here you see all of the component definitions. Alright, so e-commerce sidebar, the breadcrumb trail is a component, the checkout form, the search input, etc. You also see definitions of the templates, so view store, category, product, which is twice for some reason, and the checkout page. Now down here you've just got the initialization logic. So this is actually just creating excuse me, example configuration. So as soon as the app is enabled, there is something to see. So we create a customers group, we create a store which is accessible by the customer group, and we create a few default products. So this big chunk of code here, it doesn't actually do anything except just set up example configuration when the app is enabled. Now, what is more interesting than that is the mappings file. So mappings.js, this is what sets up all of the controllers. So controllers is basically just mapping a path to a controller function that does something on a post and that generates output on a get, basically. So we've got this one here. So up here we have the product in store mapping. So this mapping here, this chunk of code, resolves a path to a product. Okay, so the way we do that is we actually have a function down here. It's called a segment resolver. It says resolve product, and what this is going to do is it's just going to look at one particular part of a path, which will be the product code, and it locates it. Basically, if it finds something, then the URL exists. So just to look at that quickly, we'll look at resolve product. Now again, you don't have to write this code. This is what you're seeing here is the Academy Commerce app, but because you can see it, you can change it, customize it, and improve it. Okay, so this is the resolve product function, and it gets passed, basically that's the part of the path. So if someone asks for my store slash let's say electronics slash iPad 123, okay, this value is going to be iPad 123. Okay, then the previous parts of the path would have already been resolved before this gets called. So for example, the first part identifies the store, and so what we do here is we identify the store. We get that that's already been resolved by another resolver. We just get it. And then the next thing we're going to do is we're actually going to query the database. Alright, we're going to say, look, is there something in the database where that part of the path, iPad 123, matches the web name property? So we're going to execute that query. If it's not null, then great, we found one. If it is null, then we're going to try and match on, this is a different identifier, this is the product code. This is not normally used in URLs, it's normally used to identify a product. But, it can be used to identify as part of a URL. If we still haven't found it, then we're going to check to see if the path is the internal ID of the product. So this is if you've got a really unuser-friendly URL structure where you're just matching on the ID, So we can do that too. Anyway, long story short, at the end of that, we're going to have hopefully we'll have found a product, and we return it. So that resolver has then done its job. And we go to the top here. So if that returns a product, then great. We're going to show the view product template. All right. So all this does is, in this case, the mapping is basically just mapping that URL to that template. Nice and easy. We can do a little bit more than that. So this one here, for example, is the category page mapping. Now what this one is doing is this supports search. Okay, searching in category. So if there is a get method called on this URL, and there is a request parameter in there called Q for query, then we're going to execute the do ecom search method. And we can just scroll down and see what that is. There it is. Right, and all this does, it says, okay, if I have a query parameter, then I'm going to execute this method here, this function, product search. And I pass in the store, the category, the query. We support attribute searching, so we're going to pass that in. The pagination parameters, they get passed in. And we can look at this function in a minute. But basically, we just bundle all that stuff up, call the method, we get some search results back, and then we put the search results into templating attributes, and then we call the template. Alright, so nice and easy. Now this product search, just to have a quick look at what that is that in here? No, I think it's actually in okay, so we've got a whole new file for search. Okay, here's product search. Now this is using Elasticsearch. If you're not familiar with Elasticsearch, go look it up. It's an amazing tool. It's very, very fast and very powerful for searching and analytics. So this is actually a really, really simple query that we're doing here. We're going to pull back some fields from the index that's going to allow us to generate the search results. We apply pagination parameters, and we do some aggregations. So if you're familiar with SQL, these are basically group bys. So we're going to get the maximum, the minimum cost, and we're going to find what are the terms. So terms is how Elasticsearch handles full text indexing. It takes all of your text in these products, and it figures out which of those words are notable or significant in some way. And we're going to use them as potential attribute names. So that's sort of the basic part of the query. We then append all the query parameters, which, as I said, includes the attributes. And then we execute. We hand that chunk of text, which is just JSON, to the search manager, and that's going to return some results. So that is just calling directly Elasticsearch. You're getting basically direct access there, and it can do a hell of a lot. Right. So that's so what we're showing you here is the fact that what this Model 2 structure is that you get to control, as an agency developer, you get to control the paths, and you get to write your own controllers or customize them. But you still have things like services to call on. So in this case here, we've got the services object. This is provided by Academy. One of the services that we've got here is the cart manager. And this method here, this is called apply promo code. So this is for when a user is on a checkout page and there is a box for them to type a promotion code in, and they've typed it in and we've submitted it. So we get their shopping cart, and then we just call this method apply promo codes. And what that's going to do is it's going to take this code or codes, it could be a list, and it's going to look for any matching vouchers or any matching promotions, and it's going to connect them up to the shopping cart, which will generate a discount. And we'll see that in action in just a minute. But as I say, so you get control of calling that. You don't have to have this method. You can get rid of it, change it, and do it a different way, anything you want. Okay, so that's the Model 2 controller structure that I wanted to show. So now I want to jump into the front end and actually show what this does. Right, so the first thing is that this is the store page, and you're seeing down the side here, as I mentioned, attribute-based searching. So you can search by price, and you can see we're putting, we're segmenting the price ranges. We found the highest and lowest price, so we can take that range and chop it up. So we're only showing people price ranges that are relevant, and we're showing how many items in each range. And we can also look for what attributes are included in these products and show the different values. So these ones have large and small and black and white, things like that. And so this is very customizable. You could have something that was in a, I don't know, let's say, kitchenware, for example. You could have stainless steel or copper or whatever. So I'm just going to search for a toaster. Alright, and these are the standard search results. This is the suggestion list. So I've just typed in TO, showing me a few things that might be interesting. Type in a bit more, it starts to narrow it down, so now I'm just seeing toasters. And there, so I'll look for toaster in homeware. And here is my toaster, with a little bit of a science fiction vibe going onto it. Right, so if I click through to that, you see I've got a product detail page here. I'm seeing the attributes that I can choose, which is just size. Now in this case, for this particular product, I have images for each size, and so it's going to show those images. If I don't have images, it'll just show the text. Right, now when I'm selecting something here, basically I'm selecting a SKU, and once we've got a SKU, we can look up the actual quantity in stock, and we can get the price. You notice that changes. So I'm going to go ahead and add that to my cart. Now we haven't got a nice little modal yet to pop up once you've added to cart, but that'll come soon. Alright, so now let's look at what we can do here. Right, so we've got the price, we've got a quantity. Now it's 2 because I've actually added this to my cart already before I added it just then. So we've got a total price or a subtotal there. Currently there's no tax, and we'll talk about the tax calculation in a minute, but just for the moment notice that I have an address of Australia. So it's calculated 0 because it thinks I'm going to send that to Australia. And I have previously selected a shipping provider, so it's gone ahead and calculated the freight amount. Right, so there's 3 different things there that I want to talk about: promotions, tax, and shipping. So, okay, let's go and have a look at promotions. Where's my promotions page? Okay. Alright, there it is. Okay, so I've got a promotion here called ECom Promotion. Now I can attach content, which I haven't. I can choose groups if I want to limit who this is available to. I can have a competition, but this is not a competition promotion, this is a checkout promotion. And so I've put in a couple of codes here. This can be a gift with purchase promotion, but I'm not doing that. This is a discount promotion. Right, so this is basically the important point about this promotion is it has promotion codes. Oh, the other thing I was going to say is promotions can be configured with a start and an end date, has a status whether it's active or not, and whether it can be just one per recipient. So you've got a few configuration options there, but I've just left that all open. Right, so I've got these promotion codes. Now, If we jump across here, so what I'm looking at now, so basically what we need to do now is we need that promotion exists, but we haven't connected it to a store, and we haven't actually said what it does to that store if it's activated. So we do that from within the e-commerce store. So this is where, by the way, you manage your products. Generally, it's just general configuration of the store and pricing rules. Now this is where things are important to us. So as you can see here, I've got a table. I've just set up 2 rules, but you can set up as many rules as you want. Rules are a combination of matching factors, and as you can see, there are 5 matching factors here: a promotion, a user ID, a user group, an organization ID, an organization type. So you can have any combination of those matching factors. Because I've got a promotion in both of these, they will only be activated if someone enters a promotion code that matches. Once a rule is found that does match, then that rule is applied to the shopping cart, or the items in the shopping cart. And these are the 3 factors which determine what that rule does. So you can have an expression, which is an arbitrary formula for calculating the value of each item, or we can have a fixed addition amount, so in this case here just 1, and you can have a multiplier. So usually you won't have all 3. Usually you'll just have 1 of each. Maybe just a 0.9, for a 10% off. Right. So if I take one of those promotion codes, which is there, and I put that in here. Okay. Now, right. So as you can see, that has updated, and that's showing the amount that I'm getting after applying the promotion and the list price. So that's obviously configurable. You don't need to show the list price, but most people like to know what they're getting. Alright, so that shows promotions. Now, what I'll just really quickly talk about, but I won't give an example of, is vouchers. So we've shown promotions being used, but you can also use vouchers. So this is the voucher section, and here's one, for example. Actually, maybe I will. Let's give it a go. It is in the allocated status. So if I go up there and apply that, okay, I'll come back to that one. Right. Okay, so that's promotions. So moving along to the next one, I want to talk about the checkout process over here. Now, the first thing to talk about is well, let's talk about shipping and tax. So as you can see, tax is currently $0. That's because I'm shipping to Australia. If I select New Zealand, it's now changed, so it is applying tax. Now, if I choose a shipping provider, then you can see the shipping cost changes. Now I just want to show you how that gets set up. So if we're back here on our e-commerce store page, we look at shipping, and as you can see, I've got 2 shipping providers configured. Now with shipping providers, this is an extensible capability, so you can actually create, as an agency developer, you can create your own shipping provider in server-side JavaScript. But there is a standard one here which does simple things like it has constraints based on country, minimum weight, maximum weight, and it uses either a weight multiplier or a volumetric multiplier, and it can have optional costs either per line item or per cart. So pretty simple, but covers a fairly wide range of applications. And similarly, we also have tax providers. Again, this is also an extensible structure, but with a standard one which is very simple. In this one here, I've configured Australia to have a tax rate of 0, New Zealand 0.125, and I've also got a default which will apply to any other countries. So that all gets applied here. Now, so the shipping providers can be limited by country, and the tax is also driven, well, usually by the country. Now the final step here, this is the payment step. This is where you can have multiple payment providers. In this case we're using invoicing, so no actual payment occurs, but we just create an invoice in Academy's invoicing system. So I'm just going to put in a name and a phone number, and when I submit it, there we go. Now this is where we will have a nice page to show what more things you can buy. So I think that is probably all of the things I wanted to show just now. There's more to talk about, especially with the attribute-based searching, but I'll talk more about that later. Yeah, so that'll do for now. See you later. Thanks for watching.